audience. Good morning, evening, day, midday. It is race day in Austria, and I'm here taking pictures. Huge race. Try and put some B-roll in so you guys can see what it looks like. And I'll show you, take pictures at Grand Prix. Now I look pro. New mic. I'm looking pro now. Hello, audience. Welcome. I've returned from the nether of wedding planning and life and wedding planning, mainly wedding planning. I have wanted to also now share, though, what this video is going to be about, which is how to photograph an F1 race, which is very exciting. I did take some video. I will be honest, I tried my best to take video when I was at the race, but it was difficult. It was very hot. Didn't really plan that well. It's hard to plan. Maybe next time I just need to start taking video, run, gun, and shoot, kind of like Peter McKinnon, maybe, I guess. I wanted to show everyone how to take photos at an F1 race, mainly because it's a very hard sport to photograph, you know, just like Goodwood, like the Goodwood video I did. Goodwood's here, the difficulty like goes way the heck up. I want to be able to show you guys what it's like to plan, what kind of gear you need, and what you can expect from a race day. Yeah, so to start off, it really depends what race you want to go to, whether that be Texas or Monza or Monaco. The good thing, or the first thing you want to try and do, is really pick out what kind of pictures you want to take. If you want to take like ones in motion or ones of the scenes, it'll vary track for track. Now, the track I'm gonna show pictures of is the only race I've really been to, is the Austrian Grand Prix. So I've been twice. I went once in 2022 where I saw Charles win, and then I went this year, that horrific crash between Lando and Max. It wasn't really horrific, they just were racing. But yeah, we saw George Russell win. We had a great time, it was fantastic. And I did, managed to get some really amazing pictures. So you'll see them sprinkled throughout the video. Yeah, I wanted to make this video because if you're wanting to try F1 photography, it's really hard. It's really, really hard, I will say, and it takes a lot of practice. And the best thing you can do is actually start practicing at home by taking photos of just cars passing by, but we'll go over settings in a little bit. But yeah, go over a few things. So gear, what kind of camera and lenses you should bring, how to plan your pictures, what it's like on race day as a spectator, because there's some restrictions, and I want to give a few tips that will help you actually get really nice photos. And then settings for the photos and what you want to set your camera at, as well as, how to get the different burst shots. So yeah, well, let's talk about gear first. I think you can use any camera. You don't have to have an A7R5 or even something fancy. You can use a DSLR, but I think the crucial thing though is having a camera that can do 10 frames per second, just minimum. The reason why is because you'll be able to get a succession of different shots as the cars go past, as you're tracking, and at least one of those should be good, at least one. I say that because it is very difficult to get a clear on point sharp photo. Then as far as lenses go, definitely a 24-70 and then a telephoto of some sort, like a 70-200 or a 100-400. 100-400s, those tend to be a little bit more expensive, at least my G Master is. But you can get away with a 70-200 just fine and be able to crop in. I also say the 100-400 is better solely because of my experience with having taken it to Goodwood and then 2 races, and using it in other situations as well that are sports related. When it comes down to taking pictures at an F1 race, you really want to try and get a map of like the circuit and kind of get an idea of where cars are going to be. In this particular race in Austria, this is what the map looks like. So when I was going to go buy tickets, I had the advantage of being here before, so I kind of had an idea. We sat in the Red Bull grandstand day 1, and then we're in the grandstand on the start straight, and then at the first corner for the last day. So with that, what I did is I looked at the map, I said, okay, like I can get the photos of the cars coming out from the first turn looking southeast. And then on the start straight, I could probably get them on the track, you know, like the drivers getting into their cars and everything. And then on the third day, I could get them going really fast at speed on the first turn and maybe even nail a really sharp shot. And then because I had a 2x teleconverter at the time too, I managed to get some even on the other side of the track, the giant Red Bull statue called the Grandstand Center. That's where I got this shot of Lewis, and then also this one of Lando sparking on the curbs. So that was really neat to get. But I think that's the big thing, is you want to plan your pictures, where you're going to take them, how you want to take them too. Do you want them super tack sharp still with no motion, or do you want them with motion? Those are some things to think about. So I think the best thing to do is be able to get a map, get an idea of like where your tickets are. And then when you get there too, just look around, explore, you know. There's a lot of great spots that I managed to pick out. Even this time, you get like just different perspectives and a great selection and array of pictures. So then you get there, and then what's it like at race day, you know, as a picture taker? Well, you go through security. They just want to make sure you're not bringing anything too pro looking. I think they cared a little bit about my stuff, but they're like, oh yeah, this kid's not official, it's fine. So, but part of it too is you're there for your hobby, right? Like if you're into racing and like picture taking, like that's your hobby. But you got to make sure you take care of yourself too when you're there. When we were there, it was very, very hot. We were drinking water like nuts. It's very hot and humid, and then lots of walking around too. That's the thing, is racetracks is they're huge. You got to be able to walk around and be able to. It's a pretty big workout. Even though you're looking out for yourself and you're wanting to get pictures, make sure to enjoy like the atmosphere. It's a race, it's a big event. A lot of people that are so enthusiastic about the sport and being there. But yeah, just make sure to like not get so consumed with, you know, your sole objective of getting really good pictures. Just make sure to enjoy it too. Okay, so let's talk about camera settings. So you can do one of 2 things. You can go full auto, which I use specifically for getting tack sharp photos. So these pictures right here, these are ones on the first day when they're coming out of the pit. So they're going slow enough to where the camera can focus and you can track it and be able to frame it perfectly so you can actually get the car in focus. That's really good if you want some like detailing photos. And the second type of photos you can do is the panning shots. So this, you know, this is gonna require like 1/30th of a second to maybe 1/80th of a second. And like I said in my previous videos, work up from, you know, 180 to 130. I have mostly shot in 160 because it's a matter of holding your big lens. If you have a 100 to 400 or sometimes a 70 to 200, you're holding your big lens. You got to track the car as it's going by because it's going fast. It's going very quick. But yeah, these are some examples of the panning shots. It's very hard to nail them. Like out of maybe the 500 pictures I took, maybe 50 of them are good. So that's like 10%. And you know, because most of the time you're holding the button and it's going, it's a lot of like burst shooting. You're lucky to get maybe 1 or 2 good pictures from it. So, but yeah, if you do these settings, you're gonna get some incredible looking pictures. You know, I walked away with some really good ones. And even at the end of the race, when you're there, it's really energetic. And the thing is about taking these pictures, you just gotta be aware of people around you too. You don't wanna like block them or like smash someone in the face with your lens. That would not end well. The thing is too, to kind of sort of wrap things up, is you wanna practice. So I would just take your camera, you know, go out to the side of the road, track cars, and just see what kind of pictures you can get. They don't have to be race cars. And I say practice because like if it's F1 photography, it's very difficult to do. Goodwood is easier. You know, if I'm comparing taking action shots from Goodwood to F1, it's a lot easier because the cars aren't going as fast. And that to me, like Goodwood is a good prep, and then going to F1, that was a whole nother league. Same with Rennsport. I will say that the first time I shot F1, in 2022, the last sport-centric thing was Goodwood in 2019. So it had been 3 years since I shot like a motorsport event, and that was very hard, and somehow I walked away with some really good ones, even still to this day. When you're taking these pictures and you're not nailing anything, don't get frustrated. It's very hard. Like there's only like it's very, very difficult, and it just takes practice. So it took me practice. You know, I didn't think it would be so easy, you know, when I first started, and it wasn't. And I remember 2019, not 2019. I remember the first race I went to in 22. That race, you know, I was shooting at 1/30th, and I could not for the life of me get a shot. And then finally, like I figured out, it's like, oh, I just need a slower shutter speed. Ended up getting some fantastic pictures after that, and just needed to, you know, practice. So the good thing about like F1 races is that they have the supporter series. So they have F3, F2, and the Porsche GT Cup. That's actually what I've used for practicing, is the other race series. That gives you an idea of like, okay, like this is the settings I should have my camera at, like the lighting in the area, and you even walk away, if you start getting good with it, you can walk away with more pictures. So it's just a thought. But yeah, I wanted to share how to take pictures in an F1 race. It's a lot of fun. You know, you get looks when people are like, whoa, like, are you a photographer? Like kind of deal. Yes. And the thing is I would say is just be mindful when you're taking these pictures, because there are people there to enjoy the race, and you're there to enjoy the race and to, you know, feed into your hobby of taking pictures. It's very difficult, but I wanted to share that it's not impossible. So, but that's it for me. So thank you, audience, for watching. Like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. I don't know, it's on one of these sides below me. Yeah, see you guys in the next one.